So we're here with Tameal at Ground Zero Blues Bar.
Hi.
We came through town on the 2 days when it's not open.
That's okay.
But you were so kind to come in on your day off and talk to us. So we are going across the US basically to speak to independent music venues. And during COVID, we talked to the guys at Meir, I think the National Independent Venues Association, who sort of campaigned for the federal assistance for independent venues to keep them open so they could pay their staff. And during that time when we spoke to them, they told us how many bars were going to go out of business, basically, or venues.
Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah, and it kind of gave us the idea to do this and come across and sort of speak to different independent venues. And when we were coming through Clarksdale, we've been here twice before, so we definitely wanted to come in here. We spoke to Eric. We spoke to Eric already on Zoom before we came here, so that was a great discussion.
Awesome.
And he was like, he couldn't make it here, unfortunately.
No, he couldn't.
I think he's at a festival somewhere, right?
He might be, yeah. I think it's a festival going on in Savannah, maybe, or Portland, either one
like
of the
that,
two.
I think it was, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you've been here 12 years.
I think it's been a few years more than 12. I think maybe 14, maybe. 2008, something like that.
And the venue opened, was it 2000?
In 2001.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how did it come about that you were there?
Okay, so I like to tell people about the first time I walked in Ground Zero. First of all, I knew that Morgan had a place in Clarksdale, but I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
And so in my old job, a friend of mine said, we're going to have drinks after work. So where we're going? She said, we'll pick somewhere. So when we pulled up to Ground Zero, I said, why would you bring me here? They have couches on the front porch. She said, get out the car. And so I'm fussing all the way from the door, from her car to the front door. And when I opened the door, I said, oh my God, this place is so cool. What is this place? And I had, I got me something to eat, pulled pork sandwich, onion rings, and got me a cocktail. Now I had this cute little lady asking me for a cover charge. I paid the cover and I was so excited. I was like, what's gonna go on now, man? Oh man, what's going on? And so Lala Craig gets up here, who's one of our local musicians, and she's playing this keyboard, hair flying, barefooted. And I was looking around the crowd, it's some people from France over here, Florida over there, all these people in this one place in this small town. I said, oh man, I gotta work here.
Yeah.
And so a few weeks later, I actually applied to be a waitress, did that for 11 years, and now I'm the book manager. Yeah, so it was just an accident that I walked in here. Yeah.
You must get to book some amazing acts, like
oh man, the talent, the talent. Like sometimes it just gives me goosebumps. I'm like, how can he sing and play and do the splits and do all this stuff at one time? But yeah, there's a lot of amazing musicians who come around here. A lot, too many to count. Yeah,
we've seen a few, and one who I absolutely love now at the moment is Chris Stone.
Absolutely.
Like we've seen him a couple of times, and last year we saw him at Bourbon and Beyond, and it was really funny because I was in the audience. You were doing some photography backstage, like on the side, and then I was watching all the bands set up with their roadies and everything. So all their roadies are setting the stage up, and then when it came time for Chris Stone, he just like walks on stage with his guitar in a soft case, sets himself up on the stage, and then just kicks off, and everybody is just like, oh my god.
He doesn't have a roadie. He does everything on his own. Kingfish been playing here. Oh my, he's like 10 or 11 years old, and he was part of the Blues Museum music program. And we always have benefits all throughout the year for the different music programs. And that particular year, it was the Blues Museum. And I remember, we were packed in here, and the instructor said, all right, y'all, we just a few more minutes. We're just waiting on Kingfish. And I'm thinking to myself, who is this kid holding up the show? I said, well, these folks, because we had an awesome crowd, and it's a benefit. And he comes hustling in and gets up there and kills it. So for us, when it comes to Kingfish, it's a little bit more personal because we've known him. He's grown up in our face, in our eyes, and we've seen. Ground Zero, we're the ones who knew. He always had that deep, beautiful voice, but back in the day, he didn't sing.
Really?
No, he hardly ever sang. He had this one song that he sang, and but I think he had to grow comfortable with his voice. But Ground Zero, we were the ones who knew he had this beautiful voice. But I mean, coming up, he did bass for a few bands, and then he started being the frontman of his own band. And that's when he had to, almost got forced to sing. He had to sing.
And his voice, it's always funny because he's still really young, right? Like in his voice, it sounds like someone probably 30 years old.
And he's always had it. Always been that way. He's always had that low, deep, pretty voice. Since a kid.
And you guys, I know when we came here in the past, it was a Friday night, and the stage was open, right? You were inviting musicians up to
Thursdays.
It probably must have been a Thursday, Blues Jam. And this is like one of the things we've been talking about with independent venues and why they're so important in terms of, you spoke about there's the music program over there at the Delta Blues Museum, which is awesome as well, by the way. If you come to Clarksdale, go and check that out. But we sort of, the fact that you hold an open night where people can probably get up on stage for the first time in their lives, and then having an event for the program, the music program over there. It's like these venues are so important to the community. It's not just like a music venue; it's like a community meeting place.
Because number one, yes, we do host benefits. Yes, we do have our blues jam, but we also serve as a stepping stone for artists to showcase, what they've been working hard on. We're big routed through venue as well. We get a lot of bands that's actually on tour and they need to route going to Florida. Well, why not stop through Mississippi, and head on to Florida? So Ground Zero isn't just for the rich, the famous, so-and-so 15-time Grammy winner and all that, but it's also for the up-and-coming band, which is also extremely important as well.
And that's exactly, like, we've spoken to a couple of venues on this. We went to a place called Johnson City, and they had, a venue there called the Down Home, which was, the guys there had opened in '76, and like the town all came together to sort of basically build it out and everything, and it's still there to this day. Like, again, it's a mix of, they actually have a bluegrass program at the university there, and at the end of the year they have a benefit where all the bluegrass players will come and play. And that's the kind of thing I love about these kind of venues. Like this now it's so well known. And like you say, it was similar when we came through town, and just before when we were out front shooting some shots outside, I was speaking to people from the Netherlands who were there, and it's like, you must get like everybody coming in.
Oh wow. Canada, Norway, Switzerland, Australia, UK, France, Germany, Italy, Brazil. Like, I had a band from South Korea to come through last year. Like, it's literally like the melting pot right here.
And I was talking to Eric. So now you guys have opened up another venue in Biloxi. Is it Biloxi?
Biloxi, on the coast.
Have you been over there yet?
I have, and it's really, really cool. Different kind of vibe. It has more of a New Orleans vibe. New Orleans is only like 60 miles away from it. But still, it's a very important routed through venue, which is way more important in my book than most of the amphitheaters and stuff, because bands need places to tour, you know, and so they're big routed through, and they have their own following and everything now, and really, really cool down there. It's a nice venue.
Like, try to keep it the same vibe as it, because this place, the history that this was a cotton gin.
They processed cotton here. They graded cotton in this building. So a lot of people, when they go to the Ground Zero in Biloxi, they expect to see this. Here's the thing, we're the Delta. This works for the Delta. Down on the coast, they have more of a coastal vibe. It's the coast of Mississippi, totally different regions. However, one of the things that is extremely similar in both venues is we resuscitated downtown. So when Hurricane Katrina hit, it wiped out a lot of Biloxi. And so Howard Street, which is the main street downtown, kind of died off. We still had smaller places, but a lot of the places were torn down and had to be rebuilt. And when Ground Zero opened, not only did they have business, but it kind of bleeds out into all these other businesses. So now people can literally club hop on a Friday or Saturday night, catch live music over here, do karaoke across the street. They have an axe throwing restaurant like a door down. And so there's all these different places that they can go. So it really woke it up. It woke it up.
And it made it, here it kind of gave, I guess it gave a regular venue. And we should say, like, it's not the only venue in town. There's Reds, there's the new Roxy, which looks so cool from the outside.
It's cool, So when Ground Zero came, that was the purpose of Ground Zero, because during that time, there was virtually nowhere outside of one, maybe two venues that had live music. And nobody really knew when the live music was. It was like, you might catch it on a Friday, you might catch it on a Wednesday. And so one of the main things when Bill and Morgan founded this place was the word consistency. They wanted a consistent place for live music where people can eat, drink, and listen to live music under one roof.
So we're talking about like resuscitating downtown and sort of that there are other venues here, right? Like the new Roxy, Red. You said the Bluesberry Cafe.
There's the Bluesberry Cafe. There's Hambone, Hopeless Case Bar. There's quite a few venues. So now the city of Clarksdale has live music 7 days a week.
That's great. So yeah, I mean, like I said, we've been here before. I think like what I would say is come through town. Actually, one thing I was going to ask you, because we have been asking sort of the different venues, how did you guys cope during COVID? I think Eric mentioned you did some sort of live streams and things like that.
When it first happened, we actually tried to do, the to-go food, which is what most places did. But the reality of that is that didn't really work for us, because when people come to Ground Zero, granted, our food is amazing, good Southern food, but it's about the experience when you come here. And then the food is a happy little bonus. People want to write their name on the wall, take pictures, check out the band, ask questions. It's a whole thing that people want to do here. And it just didn't work. So after closing down for like a month or so, me and Eric actually had a conversation, and the first thing he said was, Tameal, what are we known for? And I said, well, we're known for the blues. He said, well, we're going to get a world of blues. And so that's when we decided to do the quarantine series, and then that one did so well, and then we did a collab with our sister restaurant, because we have a shared owner, which is Eric, the Deep Fried Blues, and that one was a good one as well.
That's good, and it kind of, like, we saw it during, everyone pivoted, right? Like, all the musicians started doing live streams and things like that. And I think people, it was interesting to me, I've said this in the other interviews, like, it was great for musicians, it was really tough, for venues it was really tough, but for fans as well, it was really tough. And like, I remember after 18 months, and particularly with what we do with the website, we're live music all the time. And I remember going, the first show we got back to, we were actually traveling in Texas, and we went to a show in Antone's, and that was the first live music, and it kind of brought tears to my eyes, because I missed it so much.
Shoot, I did cry when we had our first festival. We reopened in April, and 2 weeks later, I mean, we had one of the biggest festivals in the state of Mississippi in this area, and it got to a point where I got so overwhelmed. I remember backing up into a corner and kind of crying a little bit because I was like, "There's all these people in here. I haven't been around people in almost a year and a half. Like, what do we do? Are we?" You know, you have all these questions, but everybody ended up having a great time, and you know, you can tell the musicians had a great time. Granted, we had to do stuff a little different for the first few months. You know, partition around the stage, and you know, musicians don't enter through the front door. But there were certain things that we did have in place to keep everybody safe, sanitize everywhere, gloves, all this whole thing. But you know, eventually everybody went from being kind of uptight about being back home to now they're more relaxed, and ultimately that's what we wanted. Yeah,
perfect. So I mean, I would just say, if you're down this way and you're traveling through, definitely come and check this place out. Like it's as independent venues go, this is unique, I would say. You can stay upstairs as well, or you can stay out where we're staying at the Shack Up Inn, which is an experience in itself. So make sure you put Clarksdale, if you're doing a music tour, make sure you put Clarksdale on the list.
Y'all come on down, come juke with us.
Thanks so much.
Thank y'all. Thank you so much.